Hayley Roets, and I'm the manager on the Artist and Partner Relations team here at TuneCore. And we're at TuneCore headquarters celebrating Pride Month with the incredible TuneCore artists Lagoona Bloo, Bentley Robles, LEXXE, and LEXXE and Román. We want to know, what does Pride mean to you? I mean, we have you all here today to discuss Pride and being in the community, but what does it mean to you as a person?
I don't think I really celebrated Pride until I actually started doing drag. I grew up in the evangelical Christian church in like the Bible Belt in a Mexican American home. So growing up queer was not allowed for me. And it wasn't until 8 years ago, 2016, my first time in drag, it was like literally, it was like almost like it clicked for me where I was like, oh my God, like this, I am amazing, I'm beautiful. And I realized that my queerness is the most interesting, most unique, most like beautiful thing about me is how queer is like my queerness, and it makes me so special. So Pride for me is all about just like undeniable, like relentless self-love, because it's so hard to come by.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So piggybacking on what Lagoona said, being like a male-bodied Latino and dealing with machismo, I feel like being gay wasn't an option, and I really resonated with that because I came out, and then there was the years that came with me accepting that, my parents accepting that, my community accepting that. And then came a series of years that I didn't anticipate, which were me genuinely trying to retrain my brain to not feel shame. I was gay and I was out and people knew that I was, but there were so many things that I hated about it, like, and they were like internalized. And I feel like that's what Pride really is like, truly. For me, it's like, not just, I mean, it's gonna sound so lame, but like not just being cool with being it, but like truly being proud of it and wearing it with pride. And I feel like all of us are Latino on this couch, which is pretty incredible. But it's like, it took a second for me to really love myself. And that's what I feel like I wanna like give now to the world. So that was really, it resonated a lot. We share that experience.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I feel like all queer people do, because we live in a world that is not really made for us.
Yeah, I think for so long I didn't celebrate Pride because of things like that, where it's just like, I don't want anyone to really know that that's what I am. I just want to be looked at as a musician, that's it. You don't need to know anything about that. And I, you know, same as you, growing up with family from Argentina and like dealing with like a little bit of that, like, you know, the machismo, like, you know, it was very like, hush hush, I don't even know what a gay person was until, you know, far too long. But over the years, once I started really like accepting myself for who I was, I think I started seeing the Pride parades and being like, oh, you know what? I guess that is my space. I never like stepped into it, and I never identified as that, like as that space being mine. So it's nice to finally feel like a part of that.
There's all these like funny memes about being like the strong ally that eventually comes out, and like all my friends send me them because for so long, like I came out super late in life. I grew up with some like conflicting religious confusions. I was Catholic, my parents taught like religion school, and then I had family that was born again Christian, and for me, I was, you know, gay was not an option. Right when I went to college, I went to SUNY Purchase, and I'm a dancer, so that community is so full of like so much queer joy and love. And I was only going to gay clubs because I didn't want to get groped at the straight clubs. I loved my gay friends, I loved my drag friends. I was brought to Pride by all my friends, and I was like, ally. Even my mom had been like, are you gay? And I'm sitting at the couch like in a flannel with a backwards hat and a septum ring being like, no. Like, and then I finally met the right person. It was actually on the couch.
No.
Wow, we love that.
We love.
Gay rights.
Yeah, I can't wait to find mine. Learn.
Here on the couch.
I love it.
Starting rumors now. So we were all kind of talking about how we felt supported by the queer community and how they've uplifted or made us feel safe. How has the queer community impacted or influenced your music?
I know for me, so much of it is just living my life as a queer person. Yeah. The number one thing that fans say to me when they meet me or when they like talk about my music, it's like, you're writing about things that we actually experience. I think like as much as queer people are fighting for equality and fighting to be taken, you know, as an equal to hetero people, we do have our own culture when it comes to dating and falling in love and sex. And I think that for me, just being a part of the queer community, it influences my artistry just like point blank. Like I write songs from a queer POV, and this freedom to kind of like live my life authentically, sexually, and like liberated is, I know that that's like the #1 influence for me as an artist.
I mean, a decade of writing music about women, I think, that's the queer community influencing my music.
And I think that that's like the magic, like the way that you write about women is like unique to how a woman
right, the POV there.
Yeah.
So how are you all planning on celebrating Pride this month?
So me and Lagoona are dropping a duet, which is a cover of ABBA's Mamma Mia. It should be out already at the time this is airing. In honor of Pride Month, I do an ABBA cover every year. This is my last year, and I really wanted to go out with a bang. I'm such a fan of Lagoona Bloo, and I was like, would you be down? And she was like, yes, and it was really, really wild.
Yeah, I mean, luckily Pride season for me is like a great time to work. So I'm gonna be busy, like working all over the city. But yeah, I'm the most excited. This is my first time releasing a song for Pride. And I've been a huge fan of Bentley for so long. And I remember when he reached out, I literally like dropped my phone. I was like, oh my God, so excited. And then like he kept asking me, he kept being like, hey, like, you still wanna do it, right? Hey, like, and I'd be like, yes, of course, Bentley. And then like 3 weeks later, he was like, hey, like, you're still down to do this, right? Like, in case, like, it's totally okay if you don't want. I was like, Bentley, yes, I want to do this song with you. So yeah, backboning off of that. Can't wait to Mamma Mia it up this Pride.
Mamma Mia.
I work at a company called Company XIV. I currently play Alice in their show Queen of Hearts. So I'll be there until, end of summer. And I found an amazing way to add my queerness into the music that I wrote, and I don't want to give much away about the show because you have to come see it, but I'll be there playing out a little queer story that I'm very happy to be a part of. And there's so many queer people employed there that it's a really good place to support. Like when you buy a ticket, you're like paying all of us there.
What could someone do to be a better ally for individuals identifying in the LGBT community? And I feel like money is also
Book
Pay
us.
us.
Book
Pay
us.
us, book
Book us
us.
year round.
Book us year round, not just Pride Month, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I think so many people are just misinformed. People, I think the #1 thing is just like educating yourself about the things that you don't understand. And the second thing, vote. Elections are not just for the president of the United States. There's elections year round, all the time. And every single election, I mean, raising your voice to speak out for the causes and the rights that are important to you, important to the queer community, is super vital. So I would say educate yourself and vote. Motherfucking vote.
Absolutely.
Also, not everybody has an Instagram with a bunch of followers and like a platform to speak out and a platform to share things. And I know like every share matters, but I think sometimes there's conversations at the dinner table where you'll hear like an older uncle be like, oh, that's so like fruity. Like I think just like the little moments that you can change and introduce people. I think a lot of people have not even ever met a gay person. So like when you introduce yourself to them, sometimes they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were like so normal. And like I expected you to walk in and like shit rainbows. But it's the best sometimes that you can do in your own small spaces, infiltrate the people around you and probably just try to have them see a kinder view and be kind.
So incredible that you brought up, because I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Like I have straight friends, like I don't want to call him out actually on here. Someone that I work with that's straight, that's not like a really good friend of mine, told me as like a compliment, he was like, oh, I went to your show and like, it was like really, really queer there and it was like crazy and I wasn't expecting that because like, you're gay, but like, you're not like gay. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm not gonna say it on TuneCore, but I always joke and I'm like, baby, it doesn't matter how gay you think someone is, we're all doing the same thing. I'm into the same things as people that are wearing like, so that's fun. That's somebody maybe thinking that they're being supportive and kind, but it's like, we're not taking masculinity and femininity and passability as like a compliment. That's like,
Yeah, you can't quantify like being in the community.
Yeah, you can't. Last thing, I also think if you're an ally, using your privilege as a straight person to defend any if you're witnessing homophobia, transphobia, any sort of act of violence against the queer community, your privilege as a straight person, you speaking out against somebody, you simply being like, hey, that's not cool.
Right.
You immediately just like shutting it down as a straight person has so much power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes with the education portion of it too,
Right.
because if you're educating others around you, a lot of it is fear-based. Like they don't understand it, so they're scared of it, so then they hate the community. And it's like, if you actually get to know the community, you probably wouldn't feel that same way.
Exactly.
So we were kind of talking about like some of the challenges that the community faces, but what do you all as artists face being in the LGBT community making art?
I feel like we all have a big answer, so whoever wants to.
Well, you were really excited.
I'll start it.
Yeah.
I feel very passionate about this, but I'm going to leave a lot of space for my incredible pop stars on the couch to answer as well. It is such a nuanced answer, first of all, because part of what's good about Pride and Pride lists and Pride highlights and stuff like that is also part of the problem. I feel like for me, someone that was raised on Main Pop Girls is a main pop boy. Like that is my whole thing. I fight constantly to be taken seriously as a pop artist. And I think that it's difficult because we do just get pigeonholed as being a queer artist. It becomes part of our title. And it's difficult because we all talked about it. Standing up for queer rights and amplifying queer youth is like our number one priority. So we want to own that and like wear that with pride. But at the same time, it almost becomes like a genre or a category where we get kind of taken away from the main things. Like I have a joke with my manager Clara all the time where it's like there'll be lists that I want to be on, but I won't get on those, but I'll get on the ones that's like 10 LGBTQ artists you gotta be listening to. And it's like, I'm not saying don't put me on that list, it means a lot, but it's like I should be on the list that's like 10 pop artists you should be listening to. So I think fighting that nuance and fighting the balance of, like said it, like don't just book us during Pride, don't just put us on queer playlists. We are fighting with the big dogs, we are writing music that keeps up with the big dogs. The only thing that's different is the queer POV. And I advocate for that every day because sometimes people will be like, oh, he makes queer music. And it's like, my music is queer, but I make pop music. It's not its own genre. And sometimes these playlists, they actually mess with it more because it's like I'll get thrown on a queer music playlist that has rock and hip hop and R&B. And it's like, it's finding a balance of, you know, that is an identifier of me, just like race is, just like gender it can be. It's like, it is something that makes me how I identify, who I am, but it's not something that I shouldn't be just put in this box. Just like we don't have playlists that's like divided by other things, it should be everything. I really feel that. And again, I say nuanced, and that's why I want my friends here to help me with that answer because it is difficult. I don't want to like shit on moments that amplify the queer community, but I really want to advocate for a balance of like including queer artists in everything every month.
Yeah, the most press I've ever gotten is like if I release a song during Pride Month and I'm almost like inclined to do it on purpose because I know I can take not advantage, but I can utilize like something that I deserve. Like it's Pride Month, I deserve to be celebrated. But I see the frustration. It's not a bad thing, but it's fighting the bias within the other gatekeepers, like the people at the making the playlist or the people booking the events. There's still some people in there that have to be able to see past just that.
Yeah, I think that's why I probably like tried to hide my queerness for so long. Like not even hide, but just like and not talk about it, you know, just to be like, I don't even want you to think about that part of it. I just want you to see me as an artist, a musician, and like listen to what I'm saying. And if it's about a woman, you might not even know that, right? So I think that challenge is just like, how do I be out and proud, but also not get pigeonholed into a place where it's like there's a ceiling there. Like there shouldn't be. We should all be taken seriously as artists regardless, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna piggyback and say that I have a hard time being even considered a queer artist. I have a really hard time being taken seriously, period, because I'm a drag queen. Yeah. And there is a giant stigma, there's a giant box that I would say not only mainstream, but even the queer community puts drag music into. And there is this idea, there's this concept, there's this thought that drag queens don't sing, that we just make that there's just like
drag fashion music.
Yeah, drag, like look at my watch and look at my fierce and drink and club and girls and mascara, double lashes. Yeah. I'm like, that is not anything that I have, you know. And I think it's been such a, that's been the biggest challenge for me, is because I'm in this place in my career where I used to be in nightlife full time, and now I'm pursuing a career as an artist now. And so I'm in this like fine line of like working my ass off to be taken seriously, and people just don't give me the light of day because I'm a drag queen. And it's very interesting because Trixie Mattel she just came, like, recently did a statement about it and how there's a glass ceiling for drag artists in general because there is this idea that we're not musicians. And the reality is that, like, I'm a musician first. Like, the most valuable thing about my drag, I think, is the fact that I'm a musician. And so that's where I'm kind of stuck, because like it's only until recently that I just have started getting those playlists. Like I've been making music for 3 or 4 years now, and I even just to get on a queer playlist, it felt like it would never happen for me because I I'm a drag queen. So not to invalidate, because it is obviously the same problem, but there are so many levels to it. And that's what I want to do with my music. I used to think that I needed a platform. I used to think that I needed reality TV, and I used to think that I had to have all these things. And that's my journey. That's my path. I'm forging a path to prove myself as a singer and as a musician. So that's where I struggle with.
I feel like too, just the general theme of all of us, and I feel like a great way to sum up with being a drag queen artist, queer artist, man, woman, whatever, is it just comes down to like fighting the prejudice.
Correct.
That comes with being a queer artist. The prejudice of people that won't even listen, people that'll assume that you're not a real artist, people that'll assume there'll be music that they're not into.
Even within your own community. Sometimes.
Within your own community.
I mean,
The songs that I'm making are about heartbreak and love and sex, and it's not like I'm making songs that are like poppers, gay clubs, and I like.
Which is so crazy because
sex.
when straight
You know what I mean?
artists do that, they blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just that is the other thing too. Like if something on TikTok by a straight artist blows up and it's really catchy and it sounds like it belongs on Drag Race, or it mimics Drag Race, or it mimics house music or queer culture, but it comes from a straight audience or a straight artist, it's cool. It's cool, it flies, and it passes.
Yeah.
TuneCore also, thank you for doing this and thank you for having us. And
Yes.
TuneCore, first of all, is so freaking queer.
Yeah.
So many women. It's just like an incredible company, and you guys have always made me feel so seen. And I'm gonna get really famous. All of us, we're all gonna get really famous and make you rich. And even though you don't really take our money, but we love you very much. And Hayley, right here, camera, turn to her. She is like the head of APR, right? It's called A&R manager. She is part of the reason that we can like help pitch to editorial, and like you're incredible. So we're good.
I love you all, and you know, being in the community, it's obviously a big focus for me to uplift artists in the community, and you guys are all doing really special things. So.
And it's always you. Like Clara, I know it happens for all of us, but Clara will always be like that. You're the one that'll be like, how about Bentley for this? How about LEXXE for this? So really, really grateful.
Of course,
that you do
we are
that.
always, the APR team's always here for you all, but you know, very thankful for everything that you guys do and that you're a part of the TuneCore family. And you know, I think that it's really special to get to celebrate like just artists during this month, especially TuneCore artists that are doing amazing things in the community. Four of you are like the epitome of collaboration. You have all kind of worked together in some capacity, whether that be filming music videos or making music together. How has the power of collaboration like impacted your music and your career as queer artists?
It's everything. Honestly, it just completely amplifies the experience. Having another brain that's there that not only you're a fan of, that you respect, but that isn't yours. Being able to be, what if we did this?
Yeah, shared experience.
Life-changing, because it's something that you wouldn't do.
Right,
And
you
it's
need
like,
that perspective sometimes, I
I
think.
need that perspective.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, when I create my own things, I never fully stand them because I made them. So like the song that I got to write with LEXXE was so incredible because the lines that she wrote, I'm like, these are the coolest, best lines, and I get to like actually enjoy my song because, so collaboration is everything. And that's all I'm saying. Sorry, Lauren.
And also, I feel really safe working with people that are my friends or people that I love or am in love with. Honestly, it's great. But like, I still have little boundaries on myself where, oh, am I being too extra or am I being too much? And like talking to any one of you, I know that you would tell me no, first of all. And I feel more comfortable being myself around you. I think the first video we ever did before I even knew you, I really wanted to be myself, which included wearing like long black nails and wearing white eye contacts, and the song was called Queen, and it was like about me coming out, but nobody really knew yet but me, and it was so important, but I only felt safe doing it with her. And I feel safe being on this couch with you guys. I feel safe speaking with you. In our first meeting, I felt safe like collaborating with you. So it just makes me be myself more, and I still need some pulling of that.
Hype each other up as you do it too. And like everyone benefits from the collaboration of artists that are like doing something together.
So, just kind of some final thoughts. You all have been in the industry for over half a decade, most of you. What advice would you give to up and coming independent artists and how they could maybe maintain that independence, or, what they can do to really find their place in the independent music space?
Don't stop. You just have to keep going.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
And also, in order to don't stop, just do it. There's so many people that procrastinate. Well, I don't know how to write. Well, I don't know how to play an instrument. Well, I don't know how to market myself. Well, I'm not the size I want to be. I'm not like I'm not presenting the way I want to be. I see that all the time.
Yeah, and also do it scared. It is going to be scary. Yeah. It's going to be hard. It's never going to be the right time. Something absolutely is going to go wrong. Like, it is never going to be the right time. There's always an excuse to be made. So like, for the longest time, that's what held me back. It's just like, oh well, I don't think I can afford it. Or what if it doesn't turn out the way that I want it to? Baby, it's probably not going to.
And honestly,
release your expectations and make your fucking
People are
art.
recording shit on their phone and taking a video on their phone, and it's going viral.
and it's going viral.
I was gonna say, I think it's important that, if you're afraid to take that step to, put your first song out or to, create your art, even by doing that and one person hears it and resonates with it, you've changed somebody's life. So, all the times I was afraid to maybe like say a little bit, too much, or maybe this song sucks, maybe I shouldn't put it out, right? And then I put it out and someone is like, wow, I needed this. That's it. That's what it's about. So, it's important, especially in the queer community. You want other people that are going through similar things to put that stuff into the world, so.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I've recently learned is to enjoy it.
Yes, appreciate the
to
ride.
Enjoy it while it's happening.
Same, yeah.
Because what I have learned is that as artists, we are always seeking the next goal.
Yeah.
So there are times in my career where I haven't even taken the moment to reflect on this thing that I did, or this, like, I remember, like, for example, I remember when I opened for Vincent in 2022. It was like my first big opening set, and I was so stressed about it, and I was so worried about it being perfect, and I was such a mess that I remember not enjoying that day. And I look back and I was like, why? I was like, whoa, I was like, that was amazing. That day was so great. And I lived in a world where it wasn't perfect, and I was so angry, I was so mad. And now I'm so that's what I'm trying to do looking forward and moving forward is not only doing it scared, not only finding the people to make sure that that I trust to make it happen, but also taking the time to be wait, this is amazing. I love this, and I'm really fucking proud of myself. I did that shit.
Yeah.
And taking the moment to do that, because I feel as artists we don't celebrate our wins.
No. I promise you'll get to the goal that you really wanted, and then immediately turn to the right
Oh
and want
yeah,
another one.
and you think you're gonna feel different.
Yeah.
You think that, oh yeah, I remember when I landed my first playlist, I was like,
what's next?
okay. Literally, I was
I
like,
need to write it on the phone.
and the next one,
Yeah.
and then and so take
It's the climb.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, wow, what a great. I love talking to you guys.
We're really smart.
Yeah, we are. Thank you
You
so
guys
much.
are definitely experts in all
we are
things
icons,
LGBT
low-key.
community.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much
God.
for doing this and for speaking with us today.
Of course.
We had an incredible time talking with you all and getting some insight. And definitely make sure to check out these amazing artists here: Lagoona Bloo, Bentley Robles, LEXXE, and Alexis and Román.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! Thank you, TuneCore, for having us.
Thank you.